Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in this video I thought I would do a setup tour for the first time since 2023, as even though my room hasn't changed that much, some stuff has changed, so I apologize for the noise in the background, as my mom just recently hired a cleaning woman and now we have her over, so there's that. But let's go ahead and let's get started with my actual room tour. So right here, the first thing that you're going to find is my Macintosh Performa 475 box with its original monitor and everything in there. However, I don't have the actual computer, so that doesn't work. But right behind there, I have a Swiffer WetJet, which is really nice to have. I like to use it sometimes to clean my room. And then right here, I have my two of my Macintosh posters that I got for my 16th birthday, which I now have framed over here. And right here, I have my LG television, which I sometimes use to show input devices. I don't really use it that much, but it's there. And right here I have my bed, which is self-explanatory. And right here I have my bedside table, which has a lamp on it, which I need to charge. This is battery powered, but it works like this. Drawer clips on. Then right here I have a bunch of my old school phones that I keep down here, and I keep some of my Android phones down here alongside my Sony Walkman and my GoPro clone. And over here I have Surge Protector powering all the stuff over here, and right here I have my Macintosh Plus, which I keep right here. The lines aren't visible in real life, it's just something that appears on camera. If I go to About the Finder, as you can tell, this has a floppy disk right now for System 6.0.2, so there's that. I have the original keyboard, just missing some keys. And I have this light right here, which I got back in 2020, which I can have cycle on different colors. I don't really use this light anymore, but I still have it plugged in, it still works, so there's that. And I actually have the original unboxing video for this on my channel, which I'll put up here. And then right here I have this fan, which I use because I like some white noise at night. Relatively self-explanatory. It's a Honeywell. And then right here we have my actual desk, which I'll show you. So first of all, down here is where I store two of my tripods. The brown one is the one I use mainly for my video recording. And right here I have two power strips that I use to plug in all my various stuff. I'm not sure why I have two, but I have, oh wait a minute, I'm on an extra one, so it just gave me the extra one to use. So I use both of them. And now we have my actual desk where I have three desktops. So this one right here is my 2008 iMac, which I have an iMac G3 keyboard plugged into because my Apple keyboard from 2007 died on me, and I need to figure that out. But as you can tell, it runs macOS 10 version 10.7.5 and has a hard drive in it. I'll explain that more. I made a video about this iMac when I initially got it that discloses the hard drive. And this right here is my very first computer, which is my family's old Toshiba LX something desktop, which runs Windows 7, but I use this thing has a 1 terabyte hard drive, and I use this thing for school back in 6th grade, but a little bit. But even though this computer is not reliable anymore to be a daily driver, I still use this computer sometimes. This is my most frequently used Windows computer because I use this thing to do a lot of my iOS jailbreaking and downgrading. So if you see any downgrade tutorials that use Windows 7, this is the computer that's powering them. And then right here I have my grandmother's old Acer desktop that she got back in 2015. It runs Windows 8.1, although she briefly updated to Windows 10, but she didn't like that, so she downgraded back to Windows 8.1, and she got rid of it in 2018, and I just used it at her house, but then I finally brought it home in 2022. This right here is just my water that I just use, and then this right here is the original keyboard. I can't have the Acer that I have to use both these Windows computers, because the original keyboard for my Toshiba died long ago, although you can see it in some of my old videos from my Toshiba. This right here is the mouse I got with my iMac G3. You'll see in a second that I just used this Acer. And this right here is an RGB mouse that I use with my Toshiba now because I had an extra one and I needed a mouse for that computer. So yeah, this right here is a bunch of I've had these drawers since 2020 when I had to go virtual for school. And I just keep various stuff in here. Like in this top drawer I have just my Google AdSense thing, which I can't show. It's a remote, it's a flashlight, my USB-C hub. This right here is the remote to my ceiling fan. Up here, Scotch tape and my old trusty screwdriver kit that I was using. Then this right here is my new repair kit that I got, and this is where I keep all my floppy disks, CDs, and DVDs. And this bottom drawer is where I keep a whole bunch of random crap like pencils, rulers, all that stuff. I basically never go in here because most of the time I just get my homework done in school. So up here I have one part of my Apple box tower where I store a lot of my Apple boxes. This was the site of one of the original ones. However, now I finally got it back because I took my pictures down. This right here is a photo that was really autographed by Steve Jobs. So this right, who's one of the founders of Apple. This right here is a Rubbermaid container that I actually used to use to store my legacy iOS devices back in 2019 and 2020. However, now I just use this as largely a storage facility for cables, for a reason you'll see in a minute. And this right here is my iMac G3. It does work, but I just don't have it plugged in because I don't have enough room for it to be plugged in all the time. And besides, I think it looks cool as a prop piece for videos I take with my front camera and my podcast. There's that. And right here, if you go inside, this is where I store all my PCs, all my other phone boxes, a lot of random devices, and most of my Apple collection lives in here. I won't go over all of that because I'm planning on doing another Apple collection video sometime, but here's just a sneak peek at what I have. Then going down here, I used to store all my cables in here. However, as you can tell, it got way too heavy, so it started to collapse. So I still have some stuff in here, but I had to move a lot of it up. And that's my whole alarm clock in there I got for my 6th birthday, but I had to move a lot of it up here. And then on this bottom shelf that is still intact, I keep mostly just a Walmart bag, cat toy for some reason to stand. This is where I keep, this is where my universal grip tape for my razor is. My Christmas light necklace that I wear at Christmas time. My mattress instructions, and then this right here is, I actually used to have this cable, this up on the top. This is where I store a lot of stuff like parts to my old white and black MacBooks, radios, watches, things like that. So now as we come to here, the main part of my room that you see. So this right here is the original Simon box tower. As this house is so old that there used to be a fireplace here. Yes. And then this right here is where I have to store some of my boxes now because there's 2 shelves right here. That used to be over there, which is where you see the holes. However, they fell down. So yeah, now I have to get that squared away. And then this right here is where I store a whole bunch of other boxes, and this is where I store my banks where I keep coins. And then on top of this box from my Polo printer, this is actually a little stand that I was going to make for my Windows 7 desktop that I made back in 8th grade shop class. However, it didn't fit it quite right, and I couldn't bring my desktop to school to see, so as a result, it just kind of sits there. And this is my old Hohem gimbal that I actually did do a video on back in 2021 that I'll link up here. I have videos on most of the stuff in my room, actually. And this right here is my closet, which has a Teddy Street sign, because I used to be really into road signs, so one of my mom's friends got me this sign back when I was 6, and I still have it. So that, and then if I open this closet door, as you can tell here, I have my suitcase for traveling, dress shoes, a shirt in here, and then this is where I keep mostly just my school supplies, and that is where my cowboy hat is. And this is where I also keep my bows, some wrapping paper, all stuff of that nature. Not really anything relevant to this channel, but still part of my room. And that is really all that is in my room. So what did you think of my room? Please comment that down below. As always, thank you all for watching this video. I'm the iTunes family. Peace out.